Cracked painted curling wallpaper adorn the small rundown apartment. The flat is an eclectic mess. Mismatched furniture in disrepair, dishes and clothing strewn about on any available surface. It's hard to tell if the occupants of this apartment are moving in or out. 2 women, a man and a baby, are gathered around a small wooden table. Rebecca is olive-skinned, dark-featured and very thin. She holds an infant, Aaron, bundled in blankets against her chest. Her husband is Ezra, a pale, dark-haired man. His eyes feel hollow, but the memory of great strength lingers somewhere far beneath them. In contrast to her family, Hanna is fair and golden-haired, and though thin and threadbare, she looks like any other German girl we've seen in town. It's clear she's the pulse of this little family. The trio each bear a yellow Star of David, pinned to their clothing. Mouths set in grim lines, the air is thick with tension.
We have to go somewhere, we're running out of time.
We heard that the Jewish resistance group, the Cirque, is planning another transport out of Germany. We should join them.
Can we trust them? They're from France.
I think so. They got the Steins out of Columbia 2 months ago.
Ezra, what do you think?
Every single detail would have to go exactly to plan. And if it doesn't...
We have to try something. Otherwise, we'll just be sitting ducks, waiting our turn to be sent to a camp.
The odds of something going wrong are too high. We don't blend in like you do, Hanna. I don't know why they even bothered with these stars. One look at my face gives me away.
If we stay here, they will absolutely find us, Ezra. We have to take a risk if we want a chance.
Or we could choose not to participate in this madness at all.
What are you talking about?
We can take our power back. End this with dignity.
You don't mean...
Ezra nods slowly. Rebecca inhales sharply as she clutches the baby even closer to her chest.
I've thought about it from every angle, and all I see for us is suffering. The thought of what they do to you both, to Aaron.
Ezra's eyes are dull. Tears have bubbled up in Rebecca's. She fights to keep them at bay. But Hanna's eyes look like they've been lit on fire.
If the Nazis want me dead, they'll have to use their own bullets. I won't help them destroy our people.
You think the Nazis will kill us kindly, sister? You've heard the stories.
They can't kill us if they can't find us, Ezra.
Hanna, use your head. They're everywhere. Eventually, they will find us.
We don't know that for certain.
And when they do, they will take pleasure in killing us. It will be humiliating and degrading.
Ezra.
They will take their time to torture us in ways you can't imagine.
Shh, keep your voice down.
Ezra is brought back to reality. He breathes heavily, composing himself. Rebecca resumes her silence but glances at the door as though Nazis could burst through at any moment. Hanna glares at her brother.
Death is inevitable. If we do it this way, at least it will be less painful, and while we're at it, we rid those beasts of any joy they might take in it.
I refuse to believe it's our only option, brother.
Hanna.
Let me see what the Cirque says before you do anything rash. Please.
Ezra looks like he's about to launch into another rant, but before he can speak again, Rebecca's hand shoots out and clutches his wrist.
Let her.
Give me until tomorrow night.
Ezra shuts down again. He gives the barest hint of a nod to show his agreement. He stands and slowly walks into the bedroom, shutting the door behind him. The 2 women and the baby are left alone in the kitchen. Rebecca meets Hanna's gaze.
Go.
Hanna springs into action and out the door as Rebecca finally lets all the tears release, crying silently while holding baby Aaron. Hanna was convinced she'd missed her chance. There were only 2 things she knew to be true about the Cirque. First, it was a Jewish-run resistance group based in France. Second, they were meticulous with their schedules and procedures, even more so than German organisations. They were said to be so good at getting contraband and people in and out under the Nazis' noses that it was almost like magic. She'd sprinted all the way to the rundown tea house at breakneck speed, leaping over potholes and around animal droppings in the road. The tea house siding and windows had been repaired and replaced so many times that it had become a patchwork of colours and materials, with a fine dusting of dirt tying the whole place together. Hanna made her way to the back door and knocked.
I'm here for the Cirque.
Show's over, kid.
Please let me speak to them.
What's your favorite act?
The trapeze.
The door swung open with a creak, and a wave of herb-scented smoke, and something much stronger Hanna couldn't place, crashed into her. Through the smoke emerged a finely dressed man in his 30s. Nimble, sophisticated, clever. Hanna thought he looked wildly out of place in the bohemian shop. He silently turned, gesturing for Hanna to sit at a low table.
You're with the Cirque?
What can I help you with?
I heard you are travelling to Lisbon.
I am. Tomorrow afternoon. Interested in travelling the world, girl?
My family is very eager to visit Portugal.
You don't look Jewish.
I know.
But you still need to leave.
Yes.
I apologize if this is impolite. But how have you gone on this long?
They, my brother, his wife, and my nephew, that is. They've stayed hidden in our apartment most days. I go out to get us what we need. I hunt and sell the meat we don't eat.
So, you're good with a gun then?
Yes, sir.
You said there's a child. How old?
1, sir.
Hanna held her breath as the man scrunched his nose. She knew many people wouldn't risk a baby's unpredictable volume.
Is he quiet?
We can ensure that he is, yes. My brother was a doctor. We can give him medication to make him sleep.
And do you have any payment?
Payment?
Money, valuables, someone on the other side who can pay for your passage?
I just have this.
Hanna swallowed hard and unbuckled her father's heavy gold watch from her wrist. She held it out to the man, and he nodded, and slid her a small piece of paper in exchange.
If you can get yourself to this address by tomorrow at sundown, my people can take you.
You swear it?
He took the slip of paper back from her and pocketed it.
I swear it. The Cirque is at your service. Pack light.
Thank you, sir. Will you be there tomorrow?
None. My journey takes me elsewhere, but my people will know to look for you. Tell them Patrin sent you.
As Hanna walked home, taking back roads and long routes, and making fake turns to keep her route safe, she felt something like hope for the first time in as long as she could remember. Violet and Elisabeth sit in the living room, tea in hand, roaring fire in front of them.
I can see why Iris and Mama work together. She's just so strange. I like that about her.
She's going to teach us how to kill people without getting caught. That is really strange.
Not just people, though. Evil people.
Pretty sure what works on the evil ones works on everyone else too.
Is all this wrong, Vi? I feel like the whole thing should make me feel sick to my stomach, but it somehow doesn't.
Saving Mama can't be wrong, but I don't know. It doesn't feel good either.
I wish we could talk to Fritz about all this.
No, you already know what he would say. Wouldn't even be a conversation.
Fritzy once told me that it was okay to lie, you know?
What? When?
He said that lies can be noble if you're doing it to help someone or make somebody feel good. Like when we tell Miss Guterman that she looks lovely.
Mama calls that a little white lie. Same thing. So?
So, is there such a thing as a little white killing? A noble killing? For good?
There has to be. We protected Mother. That was noble. And who knows who else that soldier would go on to hurt or kill. That's noble.
Right. Bad things would have happened if we hadn't killed him. We saved them.
The girls look into the fire for a moment.
I do think about him, though. I feel bad that we don't even know his name.
It's Conrad. Conrad Schönborn.
What? How do you know that?
I took his wallet when you went to get the letter.
Violet pulls the wallet out of her pocket and passes it to Elisabeth.
What? Why?
I wanted to feel like I knew something. About Mama. She once worked with that soldier before he turned on her. I guess I wanted some kind of proof. Feels like we don't actually know her at all now.
I know what you mean. But I have to believe that Mama has her reasons. When we find her, she'll explain.
We'll see.
Elisabeth starts rifling through the soldier's wallet.
So, we'll go see Iris tomorrow after school then. I don't want to waste any more time.
I wish we didn't have to go to school at all. But yes, we'll go right after.
The next afternoon, the girls ride their bikes down a dusty outskirts road. Suddenly, they see a car halted in the middle of the road up ahead.
Slow down, Violet. Look.
Shit.
They quickly pull to the side of the road, hovering behind the cover of the hedges. The doors to the vehicle have all been flung wide, suitcases opened and strewn about in the dirt. The body of the driver slumps over the wheel. A woman holding a baby and a man kneel in the dirt. Two of the Nazi soldiers hold guns to the back of their heads as the third questions them.
Who was helping you?
We don't know. They never gave us their names.
Don't insult us! You think we're stupid Jews?
He slaps Rebecca across the face. The second soldier presses the gun harder into Ezra's head to keep him from moving as he lurches towards her.
I won't ask again, Jews. Who organized your transport? Where was it taking you?
We don't know.
The primary soldier rips the baby from the mother's arms and holds him upside down by the legs. The baby immediately starts to wail. The other two soldiers laugh.
This is your last chance. Give us the name and location.
I already told you. We know nothing.
Tell us.
Please, don't hurt him.
The primary soldier hurls the infant towards the ground. The wailing stops. Ezra bucks and fights to be released. A soldier hits him hard on the side of the face with the butt of a gun. Violet sprints towards the soldiers before she even realises what she's doing. In the chaos of the moment, no one notices her approach. She whips out her gun and fires directly at a soldier's head. Hit. He goes down. The other two soldiers release the couple as they realise what's happening.
Come on, assholes!
Violet shoots again, hitting one of the soldiers in the shoulder. Elizabeth fumbles as she struggles to get to her pistol. Too slow. The last soldier grabs her roughly, gun to her head. Violet freezes. A standstill. The soldier shot through the shoulder is down, but still alive. Elizabeth can feel the thrum of blood pumping through her body. Suddenly, a bullet through the head of the soldier holding Elizabeth. He falls backwards. Another shot at the wounded one on the ground. Violet whips around, now facing the shooter. It's Hanna, emerging from the woods, weapon still raised. Elisabeth and Violet move closer together, the couple behind them.
We're not going to turn you in.
You saved my life. Thank you.
Hanna softens slightly, though still eyeing the girls warily. Seemingly deciding they pose no threat, she rushes over to Ezra and Rebecca, both sobbing as they clutch the body of their son. Hanna's body shudders from head to toe as she realises her nephew is gone. Tears begin to stream down her face. Violet and Elisabeth turn away to give the family privacy.
Come on, let's see what we can take from the soldiers.
What?
Elisabeth leans over the body of one of the soldiers, pocketing a knife.
They don't need these anymore, but we might.
Violet follows suit and pats down the body of another soldier for weapons. She pushes hard to flip the dead soldier face up, then stumbles back and falls to the ground. His face, it's the face. Could it be a brother or an uncle of Conrad, the soldier from the woods?
Vi?
Violet blinks hard. The facial features rearrange. No, not him. She takes his pistol and stands. The girls walk back towards their bikes, giving the family a wide berth. Hanna is still sobbing, but tries to get her family to stand up. She places a hand on each of their shoulders, chokes back her own grief, and manages to spit out.
We have to go. It's only a matter of time before someone else comes by.
The couple don't even look at her. Hanna's face is wet with tears now.
Ezra, listen to me. We have to go.
He doesn't budge, still staring blankly into space. Hanna starts to panic and looks around frantically for something to help her. Elisabeth can't tear her eyes away from the scene.
We can help.
Elisa, we can't.
Elisabeth jabs Violet in the ribs to quiet her.
No, you should go.
See? She doesn't want our help anyhow.
Let us help you. You won't make it on your own.
Why would you want to do that? I have no way to pay you.
You saved my life. The least we can do is help you get out of plain sight. Vi, Fritz can help us, can't he? He said that's what he does for...
Maybe. I don't know what other options we have.
Who is Fritz?
Our cousin. He's a priest. He's helped provide sanctuary for others. I think he could hide you.
But if you want our help, we have to go now. We're sitting ducks on this road.
Hanna is wary, but a glance at her brother and sister-in-law still huddled on the ground seems to change her mind.
We were meant to get to the border by sundown, which certainly won't happen now. I would appreciate any aid you could offer.
Violet, you ride ahead and warn Fritz we're coming. We'll be there as soon as we can.
Hurry.
Violet boards her bike, racing off into the night.
We're going to have to get them to stay quiet. I can take us through back roads, but we have to be silent. You understand?
I do.
I'm Elisabeth, by the way.
Hanna.
The girls pull Ezra and Rebecca up from their kneeling position. Elisabeth carefully wraps the baby in a shawl and places it in a basket. They practically drag the couple off the road and into the trees. Cornelia's family sits at the dinner table. Empty plates and folded napkins sit around them. Max wears his Superman cape. Gretchen's plate was practically untouched. She pours herself another glass of wine.
I have a surprise!
He runs to the other room and returns with a birthday cake for Max.
My birthday is next week, Papa.
Yes, I know. But I have to travel to our factory in Frankfurt tomorrow, so we will celebrate today. Are you surprised?
Gretchen eyes her husband suspiciously as Hans sets the cake in front of Max. He hands her a box of matches with a warm smile.
Will you do the honors?
Gretchen obliges and begins to light the candles. While she's distracted with the cake, Hans slips a pill into her wine as the family starts to sing.
Happy birthday, Max.
Hans picks up his wine glass and offers a cheers to Gretchen. She takes a long swig of her wine, then turns towards Max, smiles, and kisses him on the head. Fritz kneels at his bedside, in his small but comfortable room at the parsonage. He's deep in prayer when he hears a quiet knock at his door. He checks the clock. It's late.
Fritz!
The sound of his cousin's voice sends him sprinting to the door, unlocking it.
Violette, what are you doing here?
We need your help.
Is Elisabeth all right? What's going on?
She's fine, but we need help hiding someone.
Hiding who?
Violet bites her lip, already dreading what she must share.
Hiding who, Vi?
A family. A Jewish family.
What happened?
We just happened to be there when soldiers were confronting them, and they killed a baby, and a soldier had Elisabeth, and this girl saved her, and can you help us or not?
Oh my God. How did you get away from the soldiers?
I'm sorry, it got out of hand.
How, Violette? We don't have time to waste.
I shot one. The girl killed the other two.
Did anyone see you?
No, the road was abandoned.
Oh, thank God. Where are they?
Elisabeth is bringing them here now.
Here? Fuck!
Violet's eyebrows skyrocket. She's never heard her cousin swear before.
Oh, let's hurry then. I have to grab a few things. Meet me around the back and be quiet.
Violet rocks nervously on her heels as she and Fritz wait by the back door to the parsonage. He's rifling through a few brown sacks he'd procured while he was away and checks his watch constantly. Her mind is nothing but a mental list of everything that could go wrong. Blessedly, on her 15th pass through the list, Elisabeth pokes her head round the corner. Violet waves them over.
Elisabeth! Oh, thank God. Are you all right?
As all right as we can be. Hi, Fritz.
She casts a worried look at her three companions. Ezra and Rebecca are silent, and not all there. Hanna is alert, but clearly fighting down her feelings.
This is not what I meant when I told you girls you could learn to shoot.
You can lecture us later, cousin. Can you help or not?
Fritz looks at her as if for the first time, somewhat stunned to realise she's not a baby anymore. He scans the rest of the group.
I'm Fritz. I'm a priest at this church. I promise I'm here to help you. What are your names?
I'm Hanna. This is my brother, Ezra, and his wife, Rebecca.
I have a contact who can meet us in a few blocks from here to take you to a safe place. Once you're there, they can help you leave the country, but we must go now.
Thank you for your help, sir. Please take good care of my family.
What do you mean? I can take all of you.
I want to stay. No one knows what I am. I blend in. They can't.
I can't guarantee you aid or safety if you stay.
I want to give them the best chance. Two people are easier to hide.
Hanna.
You were right, Ez. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to let them get away with what they did to Aaron.
That's crazy.
Like you said, we're probably going to die anyway, right? I think we've already gone a little crazy.
Where will you go?
Don't worry about me. I need you to keep going, all right? Don't let them win. I'll find you.
On another day, in another life, Ezra would have fought to bring Hanna with them, but he was a shell of who he used to be, the last spark extinguished by the shock and grief of the day. He just nods. Fritz checks his watch again.
Are you certain?
Hanna nods.
All right then. We must go now. Violette? Elisabeth? I want you to go straight home. No stops. Understood?
Be careful, Fritz.
Ezra accepts one of the sacks of supplies from Fritz, holding Rebecca on her feet with his other arm. Fritz gives one last warning look at the girls before leading the couple into the shadows. Hanna watches them long after they've faded into the darkness. The girls watch her somewhat awkwardly. Violet finally breaks the silence.
So what will you do now?
I don't know yet, but I have to do something. They've taken my parents. They've killed my nephew today. I want to make them bleed for it all.
You're in shock. You should rest.
No, I'm not. Like I said, I've been prepared to die for years now. I don't intend to go quietly.
The girls look at one another, wheels turning.
Come with us. We know someone who might be able to help.
You've already done more than enough for me.
No, this isn't charity. Our friend, well, you'll have to meet her. She'd be pissed if we said anything else about her here.
And you trust her?
I trust her not to turn you in. Please come, I'd feel bad leaving you.
All right.
When the trio of young women arrive at the alley door to the Schadenfreude bar, it's Hugo who greets them.
No entry through here, dames. Street entrance only.
We need to talk to Iris.
We're not taking on any new girls right now.
Oh, we're not here for jobs. We just want to talk to her. Is she...
Violet points downward towards the cellar.
We're friends.
Hugo's eyes are narrow.
Iris doesn't have friends.
The big man begins to swing the door shut. Wait! She stops the door with a hand. She's fully decked out in a glittering performance gown. You're lucky my set just ended. Iris grabs Elisabeth and Violet by the wrist and drags them through the alley, Hanna trailing behind them. Hugo watches them go with a worried expression. Iris leads the three girls down the ladder, through the cellar door and into the safe room under the bar in complete silence. Ripples of fury roll off her. Violet mutters under her breath to Elisabeth.
This was a mistake, E.
You got that fucking right. Violet shrinks in her skin, but Elisabeth stands a little taller.
Can you let us explain before you lose it?
Let you explain why you've compromised my bar? What part of our discussion yesterday didn't you understand? This is not a game.
I understand that, but she's not...
Not what? Another clueless young girl for me to risk my fucking neck for? Iris shoves a cigarette in her mouth and lights it, then moves to pour herself a drink.
Yeah, actually.
She saved us today. Took down 2 Nazi soldiers by herself.
No shit. What's your name?
I'm Hanna.
So, what happened today then? The girls fill Iris in on the events of the day. She doesn't say a word, just listens quietly as she smokes her cigarette. You're Jewish. You don't look it.
That's why I stayed. I figure I can do more good here than hiding somewhere waiting to be found.
You have 2 options, Hanna. You either leave right now and forget my face and this bar and never come back. Or you stick around and join us for a meal and our first lesson on the most effective way to kill a man undetected. What'll it be?
I'd like to stay.
All right then. Everyone take a seat. And you take that fucking star off your jacket. Violet, Elisabeth, and Hanna sit on a couch in the secret cellar under the Schadenfreude bar. Iris stands in front of them like a teacher. Tell me about your first kill, ladies.
How do you know?
Yes, I know about it. You were both very brave and noble, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe you weren't killed or captured.
It was horrible.
Why? Elisabeth is clearly starting to feel sick at the memory, so Violet cuts in.
Everything we planned went wrong. We couldn't do it the way we hoped. It was a mess.
You have no idea how lucky you were. You get luck like that only once in a lifetime. Consider it used up. She shifts her feline gaze to Hanna. And what about you, new girl? Were the Nazis today your first kills?
No.
Tell us about it.
When they came for my parents, they tried to take me too. I didn't know what to do, but I knew I couldn't go to those camps. So I bit the Nazi who grabbed me in the neck. Hard. He let me go and I ran. Ezra told me that. He heard that he bled out and died.
Holy shit.
But, that was it. Well, until the soldiers on the road today.
How did you learn to shoot like that then?
Hunting. My father taught me. We never had much money. And then when things got bad and he was taken, it was up to me to keep everyone fed.
You've got grit. I like that. But still, messy. If you girls want to train with me, you have to follow my methods.
Methods?
Tell me, how does one learn to bake?
By baking.
How does one learn to write?
By writing.
How does one learn to hunt?
By hunting.
And how does one learn to kill? The girls look at one another wide-eyed, and then back to Iris.
Well, we aren't just going to go around killing just to kill.
Obviously not. That would be insane.
What then?
We will practice hunting, and we will kill those that require killing. Some people, the rats, need to die, so they can't kill innocent people.
And I suppose you have a list?
Of course.
Mind if I add a name or two?
A slow grin slides onto Iris's mouth. Add away. She hands the list to Hanna. Elisabeth leans over her shoulder to read.
Wait! We only agreed to help you kill one man, Iris. Then find our mother. That's it. This is...
If you bothered to read my list, you'd notice that most of these men are high enough ranking in the regime that they have intelligence clearance. It's highly likely Sparrow has fallen into enemy hands. Part of our operation involves getting these fools to trust us. So we will learn what they know and where she is. Violet glowers at the snide remark and snatches the list from Elisabeth, who beams up at Iris.
Thank you, Iris.
Don't thank me until you've decided if your souls were worth giving up.
When do we start?
Tomorrow. I expect you all to be here at dawn. Rest up. Later that night, Hans paces in his study as he runs his hand over his slick hair, over and over. He checks his watch nervously. It's time. He quickly creeps up the stairs and peeks around the corner to find Gretchen, unconscious on a chase lounge. The wine glass still in hand, her pink dress is stained crimson with the wine. Hans moves down the hall to Max's room, careful not to step on the creakiest floorboards. He slowly opens the door and is shocked to find Max wide awake and smiling. The boy sits on his bed wearing his Superman cape and putting the final item into a packed suitcase. The case clicks closed when he sees his father.
What is this?
Is it time to go?
Yes, son, it is time, yes.
Max reaches into a basket filled with leftovers from dinner, including a large piece of his birthday cake. He sticks his finger into the icing, holds it up to his lips in a mock shushing motion, then licks the icing off his finger with a giggle. Hans grabs Max's suitcase and guides him towards the door. The father and son make their way out of the house and stand by the side of the road. A dark staff car approaches, followed by a large box truck. The driver of the staff car steps out. It's Iris's mystery man, Antony Stromberg. He opens the passenger door. Wolf steps out and approaches Hans.
Wolfie, thank you for coming. Max is so very excited to go to school.
Yes, very. Thank you, General, for your assistance in the matter. I know Mother is worried, but she'll understand in time.
Wolf looks to Hans, who remains frozen, then back to Max.
Well, you are very welcome, Max. I'm afraid we must hurry along now. We mustn't miss your first day.
Hans kneels down and hugs Max tightly, fighting and failing to restrict his tears.
Papa, don't worry. I'll be fine. I'll see you soon.
Hans is unable to speak. Wolf hurries Max along.
All right, Max. Up you go.
Max walks towards the back of the box truck, which has a peculiar interior and exhaust pipes. From her bedroom window, Cornelia looks down in horror. She bangs on her bedroom window. Max looks up and waves. The two men in the truck help him into the back of the truck and take his bag and basket. They close the doors on Max as he smiles and waves at his sister. Hans stumbles backwards to the steps of the house and collapses in anguish. Wolf looks up and locks eyes with Cornelia. She's screaming now, Max! Fighting hard to open her window without success. She looks around frantically for something to break the glass with. Her eyes land on her bedside lamp. She swings it hard at the window. Wolf walks briskly to his staff car and bangs twice on the box truck. It begins to pull away. Glass shatters as Cornelia's lamp breaks through the window and lands on the ground outside the home. She screams for Max as the truck pulls away, Max! And doesn't even notice the blood dripping from her hand. The two men are entirely unemotional as they drive away in the truck. The man on the passenger side opens Max's basket and grabs the piece of cake.
Ah, cake. Find some?
Oh, yeah.
He hands half to the driver. They both take a bite as they watch the road ahead. After a few moments, the same man reaches up over his head and pulls a long lever from left to right. The sound of gas begins to flow into the back of the truck. Wisps of the smoke trail behind as the truck drives away from the city. During morning mass, Fritz tries to look alert as he kneels next to his fellow clergyman, as KARL leads the congregation and recites the Eucharistic prayers.
Therefore, O Lord, we pray, may this same Holy Spirit graciously sanctify these offerings, that they may become the body and blood of our Lord Jesus Christ for the celebration of this great mystery, which he himself left us as an eternal covenant.
Fritz rolls his shoulders back and forth in an effort to release the stress of the previous evening. George, a fellow priest, narrows his eyes at him. They speak under their breath.
You seem distracted this morning, brother.
I am present, simply tired. I didn't sleep well.
Behold, the Lamb of God. Behold him who takes away the sins of the world. Blessed are those called to the supper of the Lamb.
I heard you walk in the house late last night.
Lord, I am not worthy that you should enter under my roof, but only say the word, and my soul shall be healed.
George and Fritz join the line to approach the altar to receive Holy Communion. KARL distributes the body of Christ on the tongue of each individual.
I find walking in prayer for a while often helps me fall asleep.
And you walked alone? I could have sworn I heard voices.
Fritz reaches the front of the line. He faces KARL, who gives him a warm smile, eyes scanning his face.
The body of Christ.
KARL places the sacrament on Fritz's tongue. Their eyes meet. Fritz snaps his mouth shut abruptly. KARL gives him a small nod. As George steps up to receive communion, Fritz turns quickly and makes his way back to his seat. He bows his head and closes his eyes. George returns to the seat next to him. Fritz can feel the weight of his eyes on him.
Friends with the bishop or not, the rules still apply to you, Fritz.
Fritz keeps his eyes straight ahead, as though he didn't hear, and simply nods his head towards KARL as he continues the service.
The mystery of faith.
We proclaim your death, O Lord, and profess your resurrection until you come again.
Iris enters a cafe, dressed to impress. She slinks into a table in the back, occupied by Inspector MUELLER. He stands as she approaches and gives him a kiss on the cheek. They sit. A new cafe every Wednesday morning. You certainly like to keep me on my toes.
One can't be too careful, my dear.
Oh, but it can't all be doom and gloom, MUELLER. Don't act like our game isn't fun for you too. MUELLER ignores the comment and reaches down to pull a gift-wrapped box out of his case.
Well, then, here is some more fun for you, my Liebling.
Oh, you shouldn't have. Always so thoughtful.
This batch of vermin are particularly disgusting. I envy you.
He slides the package over to her. Tempting, but these gentlemen will have to wait a while.
Oh, and why is that?
I'm presently occupied by another fellow. Antony Stromberg. Do you know him?
I know that he is General Wolfgang Burke's right-hand man, his fixer. No official title or rank, he answers only to the general. I would be very wary of crossing paths with him.
You're sweet to worry, but believe me, I know firsthand what he's capable of. I watched him marry and murder my mother. I won't bore you with the details of what he did to me. I'm sure you can imagine. She pats the present. MUELLER is truly alarmed now. He reaches out and grabs her wrist.
This is a bad idea. Don't do this, Iris.
Nothing else matters until Stromberg is taken care of.
Even if you are successful, his disappearance will be heavily investigated by the general. Even I can't stop that. You must reconsider.
Iris twists her wrists away. And you must understand the nature of our relationship, Inspector. I don't work for you. We have a common cause. One word, and we could each destroy the other. And neither of us want that, do we?
Of course not.
Good. Don't worry, old friend. I'll make sure there is nothing left of him for you to find. You just keep the gifts coming. She stands to leave. Imagine if you had the opportunity to avenge your daughter's murder. Would you reconsider? Iris smiles at the waiter and exits the cafe, the gift under her arm. At school, Violet runs up to Elisabeth in the hall in between their afternoon lessons.
Look at this!
She hands Elisabeth a paper. Violet is stone-faced.
Is this a joke? You've never failed anything before.
See how hard I'm laughing?
Didn't you study?
I tried to study, but I couldn't find the time between attempting to locate our mother and my killing lessons.
Violet! Shh.
They maneuver over to a more private area.
What's gotten into you? Are you sleeping all right?
You're sleeping at all?
Fair.
A slow and distracted Cornelia walks by. She accidentally bumps straight into Violet and blinks slowly at the girls as if in a trance.
Excuse you?
Oh, Cornelia?
Cornelia gives them a small, dreamy smile, as if relieved to see them.
Oh, hello, girls.
Are you feeling all right?
Not really.
She teeters a bit and leans against the wall.
Maybe you should go home. You seem like you might be sick.
I think you're right. Could you walk with me?
Elisabeth looks at Violet, wide-eyed. Violet shrugs and puts her hands up.
Are you sure you wouldn't rather one of your friends walk you?
I don't think they would help me. Please, would you walk with me?
Oh, well, all right. Here, take my hand.
Fritz walks silently through the halls of the dark and quiet clergy house. He passes the row of bedrooms, kitchen and down the hall to the library. He eases the door open. The library is lit with the soft glow of oil lamps and a few candles, illuminating the impressive collection of religious texts. It's quiet and empty, except for an elderly bishop in the corner, asleep at a desk, grey head resting atop an open book. Fritz sinks into a large armchair in the corner, rubs the dark circles under his eyes.
Fritz!
Fritz jumps out of his skin as KARL pokes his head round a bookshelf, arms filled with books.
KARL! You startled me. I didn't realize anyone else was here.
You didn't notice Jürgen?
Oh, he doesn't count.
Would you like to sit with me?
I would like that. Here, let me help you with those.
Fritz takes a few of the books from KARL's hands. Their fingers brush, and electricity ripples through Fritz's arms. He swallows hard and follows KARL around the corner to a secluded table. The men sit across from one another.
It's a little late for you, isn't it?
You're not the only night owl here. You have your walks when you can't sleep. I have my books.
And what is it that keeps you up at night, KARL?
The sorrows of our congregants, the sting of death, the aspects of our world that seem unfair. How many parts of our existence we accept as fact without question.
Such as?
The dynamics of our relationships with those in power and those we love. It's never quite as simple as we'd like it to be. Not so black and white as the gospel makes it seem. It unsettles my soul.
I choose to believe that the Lord's will be done, even in shades of grey. If our intentions are pure to love and serve those we're called to, the Lord will use us, even in unorthodox situations.
I hope that's true, Fritz. And how are you?
Caring for my young cousins has been more challenging than I anticipated.
The mother is still away with your relative?
Yes, but hopefully she'll recover soon.
But what about you? Have you been kinder to yourself lately?
He glances pointedly to Fritz's exposed wrists. Fritz swallows hard, suddenly self-conscious.
I find that when I turn my attention fully to helping our parishioners, my conscience is greatly eased.
Fritz begins to pull his arms off the table, out of sight, but KARL stops him, taking hold of one of his hands in his own.
That makes me so very happy to hear. I see how your soul shines when you use your gifts for God's kingdom. It's beautiful.
I think you're beautiful. I mean, the way you lead us with such tenderness. I very much admire you.
I admire you too, Fritz. Often.
Wrapped in the genuine warmth and comfort of KARL's presence, of their hands wrapped around one another, Fritz forgets that he's in the clergy house, forgets he's a priest, forgets what he should and shouldn't be doing until a loud snort from Jürgen snaps them back into reality. Fritz stands, pulling his hands away from KARL.
I should try to sleep. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, see you.
Fritz returns to his room, unable to dampen the glowing smile off his face. Cornelia clutches Elisabeth's hand the entire walk from school to her home. She doesn't say a word as they walk up the front steps and into the home. The dark, empty halls feel vast and imposing.
Is your mother home, Cornelia?
I'm not sure.
All right, well, why don't you sit down?
Cornelia allows Elisabeth to guide her to the couch. She leans back into the cushions with the same glazed expression.
Can I get you something? A glass of water?
Cornelia's head snaps in the direction of her father's office. She leaps up from the couch and heads in that direction, suddenly more alert than she's been all day. Elisabeth follows her closer. Muffled shouting grows louder as they approach. Cornelia stops right outside the door and puts a finger to her lips.
Don't make a sound, I want to listen.
Cornelia presses her ear to the door. Elisabeth hangs back a moment out of respect and pokes around the room. She pushes aside a few books on a table, revealing one of Max's secret spy holes. She grins and glances over at Cornelia, still pressed to the door, and lets curiosity get the better of her. She presses her eye to the hole and peers into the office. Inside, Cornelia's parents are in a heated argument. Hans paces. Gretchen stands unnaturally still, shaking with rage.
There was no other option. Had we sent him away when we had the chance? But you...
How dare you blame me for this? You handed our son over to monsters. You are a monster.
Hans stares at her for a long moment, then turns away to look out the window.
Our son is a hero. He saved us from Dachau. His sacrifice saved you and Cornelia from the camps.
Saved me? You said Wolfgang was saving him. You said he agreed to protect us. You lied.
You don't know what you're talking about, Gretchen.
Our son is dead. And you offered him up on a silver platter.
Don't say that.
Say what? The truth. Our baby was sent to slaughter, Hans, and you fucking know it.
Gretchen,
You did this. You killed him.
Gretchen opens the desk drawer and reaches for the gun. He moves towards her, but the desk is in the way.
You think I'm a monster? I couldn't stop from weeping that night. There was no other way.
Stop. Stop with your lies. You killed Max.
Gretchen.
Gretchen raises the gun, pointed straight at her husband's head. Think you have what it takes to decipher the coded letter? Visit our website's evidence section for clues to help you follow along with the mystery. Wicked Dames is an independent, self-funded production. If you enjoyed the show and would like to support our cast and crew, we invite you to donate the amount of your choice on our website at alisonhaselden.com/wicked-dames. This show contains explicit content and may not be suitable for all listeners. A list of all content warnings is included in the show notes of each episode for your reference.